Hi there, I'm Cantor Paula, and this is Hershey Bear. And something really exciting happened this morning. We got the mail, and in the mail was a brand new PJ Library book. Look, Hershey, I'm so excited. Would you like to read it together with us today? It's called Yuvi's Candy Tree. Let's open up and read the story. Oh my goodness. I escaped on a donkey in the dark. I wore my white dress with embroidered flowers. I rode on a donkey because I was only 5. I had no shoes. My goodness. This is Yuvi with her family. And can you see she's riding on a donkey? Because she's so little, she's only 5 years old. And she has a beautiful white dress on with red flowers embroidered on it. Wonder where she's going. My aunts whispered about robbers. I was afraid of the hyena's screech. At night we ran. Our dresses whooshed in the wind. My grandmother told me not to be afraid. We are going to Jerusalem. We have angels with us. We'll fly home. You can see in this picture that Yuvi is talking with her grandmother. And up on the faraway hill, do you see that animal in the distance? That's a hyena. They make a scary noise at night, kind of like, ay, 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 ay. That would scare me at night in the desert. During the day, we slept under trees, hiding. My dress turned the color of dirt. We played Shabbat by packing mud into pretend dabu, our Ethiopian bread, and we slurped make-believe coffee made of stones. We pretended to be mothers, showering our cousins with pebbles. My mother was already in Jerusalem with my baby brother, and now it was my turn. Look at Yuvi playing with her friends by the river. They're imagining it's Shabbat, and they're using stones to be cups and using mud to make pretend bread for Shabbat. I think their challah is called dabu in Ethiopia. My grandmother made a harness so I would not fall off. I waved to the moon and stars and snuggled under the donkey's belly. We are going to Jerusalem, said my grandmother. We have angels with us. We'll fly home. I did not see angels. I saw only sand. The wind whipped the sand into my mouth. I was thirsty. I love these two pictures. You can see Yuvi is feeding her donkey in this picture. And here you can see how Yuvi sleeps all snuggled up to the donkey's belly to keep her warm at night in the desert. And you know the desert is full of sand. And that's why Yuvi sometimes got sand when it was blowing in the air right in her mouth. That made her thirsty. I dreamed of candy. Once my father brought it from the market, hard and white, small and sweet. We are going to our real home, to Israel, said my grandmother. In Jerusalem, your wishes will come true. In this picture, you can see Yuvi and all the dreams she's thinking of in the night. See her father and the small, white, sweet candies, and her grandmother telling her, we are going to Jerusalem. But the next morning I saw men. Robbers, I cried. We had money hidden in the hems of our clothes, but the robbers tore at the hems, grabbed the money, and ran. Here's a picture of the robbers, and they're leaving with the money that they got from the clothes of Yuvi and her family. Oh dear. We hid most of the money we had left in the babies' backpacks. More robbers came. They stole the backpacks. We're going to Jerusalem. We have angels with us. We'll fly home, said my grandmother. We'll be back, the robbers said, laughing as they rode away. Here you see the robbers. They found the money in the babies' backpacks and they're taking it from Yuvi and her family. Oh dear. We had a tiny bit of money left, tucked under the donkey's blanket. Hide the money in the donkey's cheeks, I suggested. Yuvi, the donkey will eat it, said my grandmother. Then hide the money in my cheeks, I said, opening my mouth. Yuvi, you might eat it, said my grandmother. I hid the money under my curls. Clever girl, said my grandmother. If you look closely, you can see Yuvi is hiding the little money they have left right under her hair. I hope the robbers won't find it there. The robbers came back. They pulled at our torn hems, and they looked into our empty backpacks. No money, we said. I was afraid they would see through my curls. The robbers are not as smart as you, whispered my grandmother. We are going to Jerusalem. We have angels with us. We'll fly home. You see, the robbers are searching for the little money that Yuvi and her family have left. Did they find it? No, they didn't, because it was hidden underneath her curls. What a clever girl. We ran many nights and we slept many days. My feet bled. We drank from the muddy river. My tummy ached. Finally, we arrived at the refugee camp. Finally, after all that walking and riding on a donkey, Yuvi found all the other people who are also going to Israel. The next week, we climbed the stairs to a big airplane. People were pushing and shoving, and the engine's roar hurt my ears. But my grandmother held my hand. I patted my head and felt the money, and my grandmother winked. In Jerusalem there will be candy, clothes, and games, she said, and as much bread as you can eat. I imagined orchards full of candy trees. You could eat as much as you wanted and the candy would grow back. I imagined bread in my hands, bread stuffed into my pockets, and pillows made of bread. Here you can see Yuvi and her friends from the camp getting on the airplane that will take them to Israel. Here you can see Yuvi imagining candy trees that grow in Israel and all the bread she could ever want. White women on the airplane poured milk. They were the first white people I had ever seen. I thought they were angels. They poured spoonfuls of medicine into my mouth, and they wrapped my feet with soft bandages. Their voices were soft. In the desert we were thirsty, and here they poured us big glasses of water. Am I in heaven? I asked the white angel. You are going to Jerusalem, she said. You are going home. Do you have wings? I asked the angel. Yes, she said, flapping her arms. Do you know that Yuvi, where she lived, all of the people had dark brown skin? And when she got on the plane, the lady from Israel with white skin was the first light-skinned person she ever saw. So she thought she was an angel. And when she asked the woman if she was an angel, the woman laughed, playing along, flapping her hands as if she had angel's wings. There was a hush on the plane when we landed in Israel. We made our way through the busy airport and onto a bus. We are going to Jerusalem. I looked out the window. What is that? I asked. Orange trees, said the bus driver. What happens if you pick an orange? I asked. They grow back. Eat as many as you want, said the driver, juicy and sweet. And now I understood, but the bus driver had the name wrong. Here's the bus that Yuvi and her friends are driving on, and here is her looking out the window, and she sees the orange trees. She's never seen orange trees before. I found my candy tree. Yuvi discovered that oranges taste juicy and sweet like candy. She thinks they're a candy tree. The end. Yuvi's candy tree. I love that story. Did you love it, Hershey? I hope all of you enjoy PJ Library Books and have a wonderful and a very happy Passover. Chag Sameach! Chag Sameach!